Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for Spirit, the stimulating program initiative for retirees that inspires thought. I'm Rebbitzin Judy Steinig, Director of Community Programs for the Orthodox Union, and it's my honor to host and coordinate this program. The OU created Spirit several years ago as an on-site program, and now we are happy to bring it back as an online program for baby boomers, active retirees, not yet retirees, empty nesters, sandwich generation parents, and seniors. All of us who are looking for opportunities for spiritual, physical, educational, and intellectual growth. Since everyone is still all sheltering in, Spirit is the perfect way for each one of us to engage in a virtual setting. We are happy to welcome back to the Spirit Forum our presenter today, Mr. Elozor Preil, who has spoken on a number of occasions for the OU. Mr. Preil has been a financial advisor with Wealth Advisory Group since 2002, with a focus on the retirement arenas. Elozor spoke for Spirit just a few weeks ago on various financial matters of retirement, and we are so happy to welcome him back today to speak on Social Security. It's my pleasure and my honor to introduce Mr. Elozor Preil and thank him so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Rebbitzin, and good morning, everybody. And as people were signing in, I noticed some old friends from various points in my life whose names showed up on the screen. So a welcome to everybody, and a special welcome to those who actually know me and who I know you, and you know who you are. Give me a second, please, to set up my share screen so we can formally begin. Okay. Welcome to our seminar about Social Security, a most important program that provides you with guaranteed rising income during your retirement years. Here's what we'll talk about: how Social Security works, what you should know about it. We'll go over different payment scenarios, and lastly, we will go over issues around the program. Let's see how Social Security works. Since 1935, American workers have been counting on Social Security as a future source of income. This important benefit has had many changes throughout the years, but the basis of how it works has remained relatively the same. Social Security's trust fund is funded from the taxation of wages earned by the current workforce. These funds are then used to pay out benefits to the program's beneficiaries. In other words, today's 40-year-olds are not contributing to a savings account that will eventually pay them back. Their dollars are being used to pay benefits to today's retirees. The benefits of today's 40-year-olds will eventually be paid during their retirement by the taxes of the generations of workers 25 to 60 years from now. It sounds a little bit like a Ponzi scheme. And this is going to be one of the issues around the program that we'll discuss later on. Since your first paycheck from which FICA tax was taken, you started to contribute to Social Security for your benefit and earn credits to qualify for it. Once you have earned 40 credits, you and your spouse qualify for a Social Security retirement benefit and for Medicare. Credits are based on earnings, how much you earn from your employment. Over the years, this amount has changed and increases as the average level of earnings increases. For 2020, the amount you need to earn for each credit is $1,410. The maximum amount of credits you can earn each year is 4. So basically, if you have been working for 10 years and earning just about anything, you most likely qualify for Social Security and for Medicare. The amount of your benefit is determined from averaging your highest 35 years of salary, regardless of the year when the salary was earned. If you do not have 35 years worth of employment history, zeros are used to fill in the gap of any missing years. The calculation of your benefit is complex, so it's best to review the amounts given to you by the Social Security Administration. Everyone should go to the administration's public website, www.socialsecurity.gov, to obtain electronic access to your statements and also a retirement estimator, which allows you to try various scenarios, different retirement dates, different earnings levels through a secured link using actual salary history to help you determine an estimate benefit. Now, the Social Security Administration is not responsible to figure out the best claiming strategy for you. For that, you should consult with a financial professional who specializes in retirement income planning. He or she should have access to software that they can use to allow you to see various claiming options and empower you to choose the strategy that is best for your particular circumstances. Now let's look at information about Social Security that you should know. Your full retirement age is determined by the year in which you were born. This chart shows the years of birth and the respective full retirement age. Now, you can start your Social Security benefit when you have reached age 62, but the amount of your benefit will be reduced and will remain so for the entire time you collect it. The amount of the reduction is around 6% a year. You can also delay your retirement benefit past your full retirement age. This delay will increase your benefit amount by 8% a year. And that's guaranteed 8%. So let's take a look at an example. If you were born between 1943 and 1954 and started to claim your benefit at age 62, full retirement age was 66, it will only be worth 75% of the benefit you could have claimed at your full retirement age of 66. And if you're born 1960 or later, and your full retirement age is 67, then the reduction at age 62 is even greater. It's in the neighborhood around 70% of the full benefit. Social Security does provide an option for you to increase your benefit, which is called delayed retirement credits. As you can see here, if your full retirement age is 66 and you were to delay until age 70, your benefit will increase by 8% a year to 132% of the benefit you would have claimed at your full retirement. That's about a third more every single month. The amount you will be paid to you for your lifetime, that will never go down. But this is not the case for everyone. Let's look further into delayed credits, retirement credits for Social Security. Your full retirement age and the length of time from that age until you've attained age 70 will determine the maximum increase to your benefit when taking advantage of delayed retirement credits. As you can see here, someone with a full retirement age of 66 can increase the payable benefit to age 70 to be 132% of the benefit payable at full retirement age. Someone with a full retirement age of 67 can increase the payable benefit at age 70 to be 124% of the benefit payable at full retirement. And it's broken down by month. Someone with a full retirement age of 66 and 6 months can increase the payable benefit at age 70 to be 128% of the benefit payable at full retirement for those of us born in the mid to late 50s. Now, your personal benefit amounts for activating your benefit at the earliest age, full retirement age, and age 70 are shown on your statement from Social Security. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Now, these are estimates. When you get these from the Social Security Administration, these are estimates because if assuming you're still working, then they don't know exactly what you're going to earn going forward, but it's certainly a good starting place. Now, there is no perfect retirement age that covers all people. The decision to delay or not to delay is completely up to you. You will need to review your own life and your personal circumstances. But what you can see here, it's broken down as monthly benefits. And when you say, well, 62 is 1113 and 67 is 1619, well, that is a significant difference. But when you go by months, you say, well, should I take it at 67 or should I go to 70? 1619 versus 2023. It doesn't, when you look at it on a monthly basis, it may not seem to be such a big difference. But if you think of it in terms of annual amounts, you're talking $19,000 a year versus roughly $24,000 a year. That's a $5,000 a year difference for the rest of your life. So it is significant. You may owe taxes. In fact, you probably will owe taxes on some of your Social Security benefit. In fact, you will probably owe taxes on almost all of your Social Security benefit. Because as you can see, I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. Because as you can see in the text, once you reach joint earnings of $40,000, $44,000, which includes your Social Security benefit, you're taxed on 85% of the benefit. So that's pretty high, or it's a low threshold to have to be fully taxable. The amount that you may owe will depend on how much income you are receiving from other sources, such as wages, dividends, interest, and anything reported on your tax return. The government has a percentage of benefits levels that are taxed depending on how you file, single, joint, or married but filing separately, and the amount of your combined income. Your combined income equals your adjusted gross income plus any non-taxable interest plus 1/2 of your Social Security benefits. The combined income threshold amounts change yearly. Now, you may request to have your federal income tax withheld from your monthly benefit. It is up to you to tell the Social Security Administration how much to withhold for the current year's benefits. Now, another good thing about your benefit is that it may increase each year by what is called a cost of living adjustment. The Social Security Administration has your benefit tied to the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, called the CPIW. you should make a clear distinction between CPIW and the index that is quoted for inflation in the media, which is the Consumer Price Index for all urban workers, called CPIU. These two indexes often do not equal each other. If there is no increase from year to year in the CPIW, then there is no increase to your benefit, as was the case in 2010, 2011, and 2016. Now, if you decide to claim your benefits before your full retirement age, your benefit amount will be reduced depending on how much you are making in wages at that time and the time frame when you begin to receive your benefits. Before full retirement age, your benefit is reduced by $1 for every $2 that you earn. There's an unusual piece for the year in which you reach full retirement age. Once you reach full retirement age, you can earn as much as you want without reducing your Social Security benefit. So now let's take a look at some different payment scenarios. So as we saw earlier, when you qualify for Social Security benefits after earning 40 credits, your spouse qualifies as well. The Social Security Administration will first look at your spouse's benefit record, which is based on his or her salary history. If this benefit amount equals less than 50% of your benefit, the Social Security Administration will provide an increase to your spouse's benefit so that it equals 50% of your benefit amount. She will get the higher of her earned benefit or half of the spouse's earned benefit. Forgive me if I called the higher earning spouse the husband and the lower earning spouse the wife. I know it's not politically correct, and it may not even apply to many cases today. I'll try to avoid that. If your spouse's salary history results in a benefit to him or her that is greater than 50% of your benefit, then your spouse would receive the benefit since it is higher. No increase would then be given by the program. You and your spouse also qualify for a widow or a widower's benefit. At the death of the first spouse, the survivor gets the higher of their two benefits for the rest of his or her life. The lower benefit stops at that point. Now, this is the most compelling reason for the higher wage earner, especially if the higher wage earner is male and or older, both of which would indicate that he will probably pass away before his wife and she will live on after him. That's the best reason why the higher earning wage earner should wait until age 70 to claim benefits, because his increased benefit will transfer over to her upon his passing. Like the spousal benefit, if your spouse's benefit based on his or her own salary history is higher than 100% of your benefit, then no increase is given by the program, because the lower earning one has passed away first. But either way, at the first death, there is a loss of family income because the lower of the two benefits does go away at that time. Now, you should know that if a person remarries when they are age 60 or older, and they were receiving a widow or widower's benefit from an earlier marriage, that benefit will continue even after they remarry. Again, your spouse's benefit may be increased to equal 100% of your benefit if your spouse is at his or her full retirement age. Now, if he or she is between the ages of 60 to full retirement, when she starts collecting the spousal benefit, he or she would receive between 71.5 to 99% of your benefit. Age 60 is the earliest age that your spouse can claim a widow's benefit. Now, if you are divorced and the marriage lasted for 10 years or longer, a benefit is available to ex-spouses who have lower records when they attain age 62 and they remain unmarried. This benefit works exactly the same as the spousal benefit worked, in that the administration will increase the ex-spouse's benefit so that the amount paid plus his or her personal benefit equals 50% of his or her ex-spouse's benefit. The benefit paid to an ex-spouse does not affect the amount payable as a spousal benefit to a current spouse. So conceivably, a man who divorces and remarries can essentially, off of his earnings, pay two spousal benefits, one to his ex and one to his current. All right. We're going to skip this one because it only applies if someone was born before 1954. So now let's look at some issues around the program. We've all heard about the Social Security Trust Fund. The trust fund is not a real fund. It is an accounting device. Until this year, more money was collected each year in FICA taxes than was paid out. This resulted in an accounting surplus credited to this phantom fund. Beginning this year, more Social Security benefits will be paid than FICA taxes collected. This will lower the quote-unquote surplus in the phantom trust fund. So it's true that the trust fund is now running out of money, because from now on, more money will go out than is taken in. The reason for this is the mass migration of baby boomers leaving the workforce and activating their benefits is putting a financial strain on the program. For example, in 1945, there were about 40 workers for each beneficiary. The Social Security Administration estimates that by the year 2035, there will be about 2 workers for each beneficiary. In fact, the retirement estimator section of the Social Security website states that the law governing benefit amounts provided by the program may change, because by 2033, the payroll taxes collected will be enough to pay only about 77 cents for each dollar of scheduled benefits. Another issue is that the program is run by the federal government and often comes up in political agendas and rhetoric from politicians. Whether good or bad, it's putting a large source of retirement income on the line. One item that you should pay attention to is whether the program will change the way its cost of living adjustments are calculated. Just do a search on chained CPI to form your opinion on it. I would also suggest paying attention to news stories about the US federal government budget to see if the program is referenced. And this was written before COVID. So what are the possible solutions? Well, you may recall, I believe it was back in the Carter years, at the end of the Carter years, that Social Security was going through one of these crises. And at that time, they took a number of steps to shore it up so that we've gotten this far. I mean, that was 40 something years ago. The first thing that you can do, and that they did back then, was to raise the Social Security wage base. When we earn money, we don't pay, people who are high earning individuals don't pay Social Security on every single dollar that they earn. There's a cap, a limit to how much of one's wages are taxed for Social Security. I believe it's about $113,000 right now. Anything, I believe that above that, there are no Social Security taxes, which is significant because 6.2% is taken out as in if we are employed, and if we're self-employed, it's double that for Social Security taxes. Now, the wage base used to be much lower. Then they raised it, and now it's indexed for inflation. So one solution would be to uncap the Social Security wage base, meaning that no matter how much you make, you're going to have to pay Social Security tax on all of it, which, by the way, they've already done that for Medicare. Medicare used to have a cap on the wage base too, and today it doesn't. The second thing they can do is raise the tax rates. It wasn't always 6.2% for the employer and 6.2% for the employee. It used to be much lower. By raising the rates that you pay, that brings in a lot more money. Another thing that they can do is to raise the full retirement age. When Social Security began in 1935, they set the full retirement age at 65. It remained that way until I think it was 1979 when they introduced today's system, which is that for those born after 1943, it was raised to 66. And then starting in 1950, after 1954, it went up to 2 months a year until 1960, so that anyone born after 1960, the full retirement age is now 67. So effectively, they raise it from 65 to 67. If you think about it, that's not unfair at all. In fact, it's probably one of the first things that'll happen is to raise the full retirement age. When the Social Security Administration began in 1935 and they set the full retirement age at 65, do you know what longevity was at that time? It was 62, which means the average person didn't even live long enough to collect anything. Well, today longevity has increased, Baruch Hashem, and today a person who reaches age 65 can expect to live, I think, 84 for men and 87 for women. And that's 50%. That means half will live longer. And they still have the full retirement age at somewhere around 66 or 67. I believe that will probably have to change. All three of the three things we discussed, uncapping the wage base, or raising the wage base, raising the tax rates, and raising the full retirement age, were used in the past to save Social Security and will probably be steps that are taken going forward. The good news for us, who I assume anyone on this call is close to or approaching Social Security age, is that in the past, when they made these changes, it didn't affect those who were right on the cusp of retiring, those who were close. Even the increase of the full retirement age was pushed out, okay? If I'm right about the year, if it was 1979, and they said, well, anybody born after 1943 is going to have to wait an extra year, that means it was people who were 46 years old at that time, who are still 20 years away from retirement. And if they're raising the amount of taxes to pay in, or the wage base will be uncapped, yeah, that will affect us as long as we're working, but theoretically, we're closer to the end of our working years than the younger people are. So as a result, although there are clouds on the horizon, if I was a betting person, I would suspect that it probably won't hurt those of us at or near Social Security as much as it will those who are younger. I could be wrong. I'm not a lo navi anochi velo ben navi anochi. I'm not a prophet. And I'm terrible at guessing future results. So, but if history is any guide, that's what happened the last time. So let's recap. Oh, forgive me. Now there's one more thing here. Issues around the program. Though this is not an issue with the program, it could be an issue with your retirement. The Social Security benefit was not meant to be your sole income during retirement. Shown here are the charts that have the replacement rates for low, high, and max earner groups of people retiring in the year 2018 at the normal retirement age of 65. And this is all pretty logical. For people who are earning less money, Social Security is going to make up a larger portion of their income in retirement. For people who are earning more money, Social Security is going to make up a smaller portion of the amount of money they're used to living on and the lifestyle that they have designed for themselves and would like to continue, which means that while low earners, the group on the left, can replace most of their earnings and most of their lifestyle with Social Security, those who are earning more or most will need to have other sources of income during their retirement. They cannot rely on Social Security to replace and completely fund their lifestyle. So it's something else to keep in mind as we approach retirement. So recapping. Social Security is funded by the taxation of wages. Its benefit is complex and is derived from the average of your highest 35 years of wages. Once you have earned 40 credits, you and your spouse qualify for a benefit. Be sure to log on to Social Security's public website and read your statement. It shows estimates of your amounts of future benefits. What you should know is that your full retirement age depends on the year you were born. The age that you start to receive benefit can affect your benefits amount. Claiming before full retirement will reduce your benefit. Delaying past full retirement to any age up until age 70 will increase your benefit. The program provides a cost of living adjustment but this adjustment is not guaranteed each year. You will probably owe taxes on a portion or most of your benefit. And working prior to full retirement age and claiming benefits may reduce your benefit depending on the amount that you are earning. We looked at different payment scenarios for spouses, widows and widowers, and how survivor benefits work. We also look at how benefits work for divorced couples, and we looked at how you may wish to utilize a spousal benefit and delay retirement credits until age 70. Oh, wrong way. And lastly, we looked at some issues around the program, like funding issues for future benefits and how it's important to pay attention to news stories and political stances on the program. We also reviewed how the program was not meant to be your only source of income during retirement. So it may be appropriate for you to explore choices with your assets for generating consistent income throughout all of retirement. For many people these days, Social Security is the only guaranteed lifetime income source that they have. Once upon a time, American companies provided pensions. Pensions also provided guaranteed lifetime income. But many companies switched over from pensions to 401ks. 401ks are not guaranteed to last for your entire lifetime. It's up to each individual to manage his account or her account to make sure that the money is there and doesn't run out. And that can be very tricky because we don't know how long we're going to live. We don't know how long this race is going to last. And so it is important and for security and for peace of mind to investigate other ways of creating guaranteed lifetime income, at least to cover your basic expenses, so that those are taken care of, those are addressed, and now you can be confident and secure as you go through retirement, secure in the knowledge that you will have a guaranteed source of income for as long as you live. Mirz Hashem, we should all be successful in planning the rest of our financial lives. Mirz Hashem, it should last a long time. We should all remain healthy and stay safe and get past this crazy time we're living in. And hopefully in the future, we'll be able to meet together face to face for further programs. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. There were a couple of questions that came in. Can I just address them to you right now?
Please.
Okay, so the first one was you kind of skipped the slide about 1954. So there was a request to go over that because I think that does affect some people on the call. That's number one. And number two, you had mentioned in Medicare that something about that was tied to the 40 credits. Suppose there was somebody who didn't have 10, the amount of credits. Are they still eligible for Medicare or not?
They or their spouse. One of the two has to have earned the 40 credits in order for both to be eligible for Medicare. If neither one of them has the 40 credits, then they're not eligible.
Oh, okay.
And as far as the other one goes, it's a little bit complicated. It has to do with the fact that for someone born before 1954, a spouse, let's say the spouse didn't earn any money and the husband did. But the husband, let's say they're the same age, and the spouse didn't earn any money and the husband earned did earn money. So the obvious, to me, the best solution would be for the husband to wait until 70 so that he gets the increased benefit, and then that amount would transfer over to his wife in case he were to pass away. If you were born before 1954, she could start taking a spousal benefit even if he doesn't take his own personal benefit. So she could start taking at 66 and he waits until 70. She would get the spousal benefit at 66. He would wait until 70. Now let me just clarify something that wasn't in the presentation. The spousal benefit is half of the full retirement amount, okay, which is either, let's say, age 66 or age 67 amount. Even if the higher earning spouse waits until 70 to collect, that doesn't increase the spousal benefit. So there's no benefit to the spouse waiting past age 66 to begin taking his or her benefit, because that's not going to increase. Okay? So then in that case, the obvious solution would be, well, at 66, the lower earning spouse should jump in and claim their spousal benefit, while the higher earning spouse waits until 70 to get the increased benefit. You could do that if you were born before 1954. You can't do that today. Today, a spouse cannot take a benefit until a spousal benefit cannot be taken unless the earning spouse also files for benefits at the same time. You can't have the spouse take it while the higher earning spouse delays. What you can do, and what may be appropriate for many people is, forgive me, I'm going to use husband and wife. If the husband is earning a lot more money for a lot more time than the wife did, because for whatever reasons the wife was out of the workforce for a while, when he starts taking benefit, now, so for our case, we're going to say his benefit is more than twice hers. So as we learned, if his benefit is more than double hers, she's better off taking the spousal benefit. But she can't take the spousal benefit until he takes his full benefit. But they've decided for their future well-being, let's say he's older, so that the odds are he's going to outlive her. So they make a decision that he should wait until age 70 to take his benefit. She, though, can file when she reaches her full retirement age, or even before if she wants, but then she'll get a lower amount. So it makes sense for her to wait. When she reaches her full retirement age, let's say they're the same age. When she's 66, let's assume her monthly benefit is going to be $1,200 a month. She can file at age 66 and take her personal benefit of $1,200 a month. He's going to delay until age 70 because he was a high earning person. Let's say by age 70, his benefit will be $4,000 a month. But his full retirement benefit, let's call it $3,200. $3,200, half of $3,200 is more than her $1,200. Okay? So at 66, she starts taking her own benefit of $1,200 a month. When they both turn 70 and he begins his personal increased benefit, she can then claim her spousal benefit, which is higher than her personal benefit. So she'll get a step up, not as much as he got for waiting, but she'll be making more. But the point here, the nuance is, there was no benefit to her waiting until he starts collecting for her to start collecting. Let her take whatever she can on her own earnings from 66 to 70. Okay?
Thank you so much. If there's any other questions, we're going to get your contact info to give out with the recording, right? So
Okay.
Other questions, some people may have some personal scenarios, and Elozor will kindly address them. Later on today, as we always do, with God's help, it'll be either today or early tomorrow, depending on when it's ready. Everybody who has registered always receives the recording, and we will be giving Elozor Preil's personal information, not personal, his professional contact info, so that you can reach him and discuss any of your own situations with him. We want to thank him so much for that wonderful, informative session, which I know is going to be so helpful to everybody. And I know that everyone's going to want to go over it again. So again, you don't have to ask me. You're going to get the recording with God's help. Zoom cooperates and we get it properly. We will then be sending it to everybody automatically, as I said, later today or tomorrow. I also want to mention, I know I said it a few times on our sessions, that there is a new OU initiative called Perfect Pair that's going on this summer, where each one of us can share our experiences, values, and legacy with a teen in a virtual setting. This was set up because, as we well know, this is not the summer that any of us dreamed of in terms of our vacations, for the kids, for their camps, going away. It's just not happening. And the OU has set up a program, which was actually the idea of a teen, to pair people up so they can speak in a very safe way, as I said, virtually, either by phone, WhatsApp, whatever you're comfortable with. But right now, I have to tell you, our problem is we have more teens than we have mature adults. So I have been asked to, if you haven't signed up yet, the sign up is in the various emails. You'll get it again today. Just sign up, and however you want to make the setting, it's fine. But as I said, they need more of us. So if you have the time, an hour or so a week to talk to a young person, and I think they would really benefit from your experiences. I just want to, next week, we'll be having two very different but exciting programs. On Tuesday, my colleague, Rabbi David Jenkins from OU Kosher, who is a wonderful speaker. We have sent him all over the country, not just to do rabbinical work, but also to speak on behalf of our department. And he will be sharing the history of kashrus in the United States. And a lot of that, of course, is the history of OU Kosher. And that will be on Tuesday. And on Thursday, we'll be having the first of hopefully a few programs dealing with relocation. And we'll have a panel of a couple of couples who will share their experiences with us. So watch your emails for registration information. Have a great day. Have a good Shabbos. Thank you again, Mr. Preil, for joining us. Everybody be safe and be healthy.